prison stories. I got asked the other day what is one of the most memorable things that happened in jail. Now there's a few. Honestly, I can personally say that not all times in jail are bad. And if everyone's been there or people have been there, you'll know that it's a laugh. Some parts of it are a laugh. It's not big, it's not clever, but it's fucking funny. Some parts are funny. Now, back in the day, I think probably about 2012, I think. I was a reception orderly at Winson Green, and there was a few of us there. I think there was 6 of us, and we had the reception area, where you walk in and get your clothes changed. We had a shower area and we had a kitchen area. And when they used to come through, the lads would come through. We was the first inmates that they'd meet. So we was the welcoming committee. Now, obviously, everyone come through reception, whether you be in there for fines or whether you be a fucking horrible, dirty rapist. Everyone come through. On this particular day, a fucking beast of a man was coming through who had sexually assaulted a 3-year-old boy. Disgusting. Fucking disgusting. Now, as you can imagine, we can't get to these people because they're actually guarded by about 4 or 5 screws when they walk in. That's how you realise that they are a dirty, rotten monster. So yeah, so one of them come in the one time, and we used to have a little signal that it was a silly signal, but we used to do this to each other. If someone done that to you, then you knew that this guy was a wrong 'un. I was on the kitchen area that particular day, and someone went like this, and then they went like that. Bad. Because they'd read the file that was on the table as he walked in. So I had a look around what we could do, and that day we had fish and we had steak and kidney pies. So I went to the toilet with a steak and kidney pie, and I done a shit in a carrier bag, a little carrier bag. I removed the top pastry of the steak and kidney pie with a little razor blade. I took the meat out of the steak and kidney pie and replaced it with shit lumps. Put the pastry back together, squeezed it all back together, nice and firmly, and took it back to the kitchen. Put it on the hot plate. The man in question walked towards me with 3 or 4 screws round him, asked me if he could have food. I was like, would you like fish or pie? He's like, I'll have fish. I said, you're having pie? He's like, I'll have pie. So we give him pie, and he went to a holding cell by himself, and it was a glassed holding cell so he could see through it, and he proceeded to eat the pie. Now, I can only imagine that he'd been in a police cell over the weekend for a few days and he was pretty fucking hungry. But to be hungry enough to be eating a shit pie with a shit gravy running down his face and not being able to fucking smell it was something else. However, very satisfying. Probably not for him, but for me.